Alright guys, welcome back to the channel. Welcome if you're new. Thank you for taking time out of your day to check the video out. We have more PlayStation news, rumors, and leaks to go over and cover today, and we're starting with a really interesting rumor from a very credible source, and it has to do with the PlayStation 6, more specifically a dedicated handheld that Sony is going to be releasing apparently alongside the PlayStation 6. So we have two separate reports here coming from WCCF Tech, but from the same original source. The first came out yesterday where it talked about the PlayStation 6 Portable Edition and how it's not going to be as powerful as a PS5. Speaking last month on the NeoGAF forums, as reported today on the Gaming Leaks and Rumors subreddit, known AMD leaker Kepler L2 revealed that the portable edition of the next generation console by Sony will not be as powerful as the PlayStation 5, as it will be powered by a 15-watt SoC on 3 nanometers. As the system is said to be able to run PS5 games, it will definitely be interesting to see how this portable system will be able to do and which compromises it will have that will have to be made to achieve this. Now, it's also worth noting here that very little is currently known about the PlayStation 6. Earlier this year, we heard from Kepler L2 that the SoC, or the system on chip, design is complete, and it has entered the pre-silicon validation with the A0 tap out scheduled for later this year. So if you don't know what that means, basically Sony has it locked in what they're doing, what the PlayStation 6 is going to be. They've decided on the specifications, and he did mention, Kepler L2 that is, that there are two different SoCs. So this would explain a, I guess, traditional PlayStation 6 console, but also a dedicated handheld that is seemingly going to release alongside the console. But we actually have more clarification here from Kepler L2 about this portable PlayStation 6 or 5 or whatever you want to call it. But it says here, following up on some earlier comments regarding the portable edition of the next-gen Sony console, known leaker Kepler L2 provided some additional information on the system on NeoGAF. Asked about the system's power, the insider confirmed that while it will not be as powerful as the base current-gen system, it will definitely be able to run PS5 games, although not at the same resolution and frame rates, mainly due to lower memory bandwidth. So it sounds like this portable PlayStation system will be somewhere between a base PS5 and an Xbox Series S, but Kepler L2 did stress that it's difficult to truly estimate the system's performance due to it using unreleased GPU architecture. Speaking further about the portable PlayStation 6 SoC, the leaker confirmed it will be a different chip than the one powering the home console, designed to run at very low voltages, and it will feature less than 40 compute units, so likely less than the 36 that is inside of the base PS5, although it doesn't really tell us much overall, because again, this is unreleased GPU architecture. But yeah, very interesting information to be getting nonetheless. I think the big thing here is the fact that Sony is seemingly going to be going all in with a dedicated handheld PlayStation console that, if I had to assume, they're going to market and sell alongside the PlayStation 6, which is kind of an alternative take to what Nintendo is doing with the Switch 2. The Switch 2 is a hybrid system, it's like 2-in-1, and with that comes significant compromise. It seems like what Sony's going to do is kind of go in the opposite direction, where they're going to have a dedicated home console and a dedicated handheld with, it will obviously be much more expensive if you want to buy both to complement each other, but you will be, paying that price to ensure that there are minimal compromises overall compared to something like the Switch 2. So if this is, how Sony's going about it, it's a very interesting strategy, and I'm going to be, really curious to see how it plays out. Let me know your thoughts on that. Moving on to the next topic, I want to just highlight something that Shuhei Yoshida recently said about Ghost of Yotei. This is again being reported by Genki Japan. Shuhei Yoshida says he has played Ghost of Yotei, and he says it felt great. This is what he revealed to Easy Allies. Quote, "The producer of the game brought me into his room and let me try Ghost of Yotei in development, and he wanted my feedback. It always felt great. I am so looking forward to this game," end quote. So I just wanted to kind of throw this out here because, Shuhei Yoshida is still doing many interviews and revealing a lot of different tidbits of information, during his time working at Sony and working at PlayStation. But I do think that this is a good sign. I mean, Shuhei Yoshida, He, I think, very much loved Ghost of Tsushima, and he's only speaking positive things here about Ghost of Yotei. So I have no doubt in my mind that when we see Ghost of Yotei, what Shu is saying here is, going to turn out to be true. It's going to end up being a great game. Moving on to the next topic here, we have some updates regarding Days Gone Remastered. The marketing for this is ramping up, and Sony Bend is talking more about it. So they did put out a PlayStation blog here, and they're talking about some of the enhancements we can expect for this game on the PS5. So basically, there was a little interview that was done with the creative and product lead at Bend Studio, Kevin McAllister, and he was asked about how this game is going to take advantage of some of the PS5's capabilities, and he says the graphical improvements we made, you will see the difference. There's increased lighting, increased shadow quality, increased fog depth. For example, nighttime is now much more darker, the moon is more natural looking, the blue sky is more natural as well. Days Gone is a very realistic looking game, and we've taken that to a new level with the PS5. So on top of that, he also talks gameplay-wise, right off the top of my head, is increased horde sizes. That's very specific to our new gameplay mode, Horde Assault. And these hordes, they get big. Like, how big? So, for example, the biggest horde in the story is the old sawmill horde, which is a mission that has 500 freakers. In assault mode, we have hordes that range up to 800 freakers. They cover the screen, that's for sure. And so they do go a little bit deeper here into Horde Assault, and he says Horde Assault gives you all the tools at your disposal from the start. New players can jump in and play right away, and they can experience the core open world gameplay of Days Gone, but now you're having the maxed out motorcycle with you and some new weapons as well. There's also human enemies alongside evolved freakers like breakers, reachers, and screamers. It's a lot more chaotic, but it's the true Days Gone gameplay experience. It's really cool and a fun mode, and I think fans are really going to enjoy it. So I just wanted to once again cover this Horde Assault mode that Bend is bringing with Days Gone Remastered, because I really do think that this is going to end up being the highlight of this remaster. They're saying here that there's going to be hordes that go up to 800 freakers at one time, which is pretty insane when you think about it, because, the cap on that for the base PS5 seemingly was 500, so they're really ramping it up here. And yeah, I can't wait to dive into this game, and any excuse I have to cover it and give you guys some new information on it, I'm gonna take it. So let me know your thoughts on that. But moving on to the final topic of the video, we have just a couple things here when it comes to Marathon. So director Joe Zegler addressed in an interview with Games Radar Plus, when it comes to the PvE or PvP aspect of this game, he kind of answered a question here, and he says that the development team can help smooth out the barriers to entry. He says, I think there are other things that maybe we can't, just to be 100% honest. I think part of it is we don't expect Marathon to become Destiny 3. Our goal is not to basically make a new product that replaces Destiny 2. We believe Destiny 2 has a future, and the team working on it has been working really hard to understand what players' needs are. But if you like Destiny and you happen to like a lot of PvP sandbox experiences, and those are other games that you play, then we think Marathon could be something very exciting for you. He says, if you are a Destiny player who's really not interested in any PvP at all, it's probably not the game for you, because there's going to be PvP interactions that occur. At some point, someone else who is a player is going to come across you and shoot you. I think if you're only looking for PvE experiences, definitely Marathon is not the game for you. We are very comfortable saying, yeah, this isn't a game for everybody. This is a game for if you like PvP experiences, especially in sandbox spaces, then this is probably something you're going to enjoy. So this is what Bungie is saying. This is a very, I think, clear message they're putting out there, where this is a PvP game first and foremost, and if you are not into PvP experiences, this is not going to be a game for you. Not really sure how well that's going to resonate with everybody, but I do appreciate the honesty, because yeah, there's no way around it. It's an extraction shooter. I think that it's smart that they're saying this. They're not trying to mislead anybody. But yeah, I do think ultimately that right there is kind of what's going to limit the overall potential of this game. But yeah, just wanted to let you guys know about that. The other thing I want to mention here really quick is that when it comes to Marathon, Bungie did confirm that there is not going to be proximity chat, because they fear it's going to be too toxic. They say when it comes to proximity chat, I don't think we're against the experience of it, to be fair. This is again what Joe Zegler had to say, and he told PC Gamer this. I think the challenge is how you make sure we're creating a safe environment for players inside of that space. I don't think anyone really has a good solution to that yet, because we're so dedicated to making sure that we're creating a safe space where we don't have players just flaming each other or doing terrible things to one another. I think we're not ready to invest in proximity chat until we have a solution. This is something that right now Bungie is getting a lot of flack for, because it feels like in order for, an extraction shooter to succeed, proximity chat has to be there. That has to be a core part of the game. And the reasoning that they're giving here, I think people are quite frustrated with, where it comes off as weak and a bit of a cop-out, where it's like they're afraid of it becoming too toxic. I don't know, man. It's kind of weird. I just feel like they're basically just hurting their own game by kind of taking this stance. I mean, they could do what they want. It's their game. If they think it's too toxic and they don't want to do it, then they don't have to do it. But again, I just think you're hurting the players, I think, who are excited for a new extraction shooter by doing this, just because there's a couple of bad apples that are going to, obviously be toxic, right? I don't think you should punish everybody for this, but it is what it is. Just figured I would put that out there. But guys, that's going to do it for the video. I hope you enjoyed it. Hope you found it informative. If you did, leave it a like, subscribe if you're new, hit the bell notification icon, and feel free to share the video out on top of all that. But until next time, guys, take care.